you might remember, this is a bit of a throwback for PCC too, to last year during the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard defamation trial. There were a lot of Johnny fans who were petitioning to get Amber Heard dropped from her brand deals. And I think that they ignored it at the time, but now that she has lost that trial and she's less relevant, she's not going to be as famous as Johnny Depp by a long shot for her future career. She's now been dropped by L'Oreal as a brand ambassador, and people are celebrating this. It's a long time coming. One person tweeted, "I applaud L'Oreal for finally getting rid of someone who damages their brand, and I warn them of impending vile reaction from her defenders that they're about to unleash on you. Realize they are not her fans. She doesn't have any. You saved yourself a headache. She's just hashtag not worth it." That's their slogan, by the way, is like, you're worth it.
Yeah.
Got him.
The other ambassadors include Elle Fanning, Camila Cabello, lots of different celebrities. But now that Amber Heard has been dropped, I wanted to look at some of the tweets from Amber Heard supporters back when L'Oreal appeared to stand by her during the trial. They said, in the wake of Cannes Film Festival and Dior news, meaning Johnny Depp getting his Dior brand deal renewed, that was a big deal for his career trajectory when a lot of people were shitting on him. I want to draw attention to the fact that not all institutions platform abusers. For years, Amber Heard has been a L'Oreal Paris ambassador, and I've been collecting testimonials about what it means to our community that L'Oreal chose to stand with survivors. Hashtag Amber is worth it. Hashtag I stand with Amber Heard. This is from Leave Heard Alone. I think this is the most popular Amber Heard stan account that exists, still active to this day. You have to applaud the consistency, you know?
It's secretly Amber.
Yeah, it's probably secretly run by Amber Heard behind the scenes. I wouldn't doubt that for a second. So here are some of the statements that Amber's stans said about her ambassadorship. Why is it important to you that Amber is a L'Oreal brand ambassador? One said, Amber Heard is the ultimate feminist icon. She is the bravest human I know of, and she fights for herself as well as all women. What does Amber mean to you? Amber Heard makes me feel seen. As a survivor of abuse myself, seeing her story has allowed me the courage to start fighting for victims' rights, acknowledging that not all of us will fit into the perfect victim mold. She has given me the courage to use my voice and to be heard. But I think it's really sad that probably a lot of people who legitimately experienced abusive relationships probably identified with Amber when her story first came out and we didn't know the facts yet. We didn't hear those recordings of her saying, I didn't hit you, I slapped you. And now they've been bamboozled, and I just wouldn't know how to admit that to myself.
Well, they say it's easier to make somebody believe something that's false than show them something that they believe that's already false, right? So you can make somebody believe a lie a lot better than you can prove to them that they've been lied to.
Yep. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Another one said, girls need a role model to look up to. They need to see beauty as not shallow, but something that's equitable to intelligence, strength, and kindness, all of which Amber embodies and inspires in people who know her story. They literally think that she's some kind of Disney princess with like birds and mice helping her get dressed in the morning. They think that she's Snow White, basically.
She should just lean into it and become a boxer.
Also, what's not shallow about Amber Heard's beauty? She's obviously famous for her beauty, right? That's shallow. Not saying it's wrong, but...
Yeah, I don't feel bad for her at all, personally. I'm not saying Johnny Depp is an angel, but what she did was bad for women. It was bad for men. On top of that fact, she is gorgeous. And she had a baby with Elon Musk. Does she really need the L'Oreal partnership?
Right. She's got that child support on lock. We know that. Well, it's not confirmed. We don't know if Elon is the daddy, but...
Oh, really? Okay.
We could safely guess.
Strongly speculate.
But that was my conceit during the whole trial, is that, like, no one actually cares about the truth of what happened between these two, like, coke addict celebrities in their chaotic relationship.
Mm-hmm.
It just turned into a proxy war between men and women. Like, all the men felt like they needed to identify with Johnny Depp, and all the women felt like they needed to identify with Amber Heard. And the fight between them really wasn't about defamation. It was just about vitriol between the sexes, and it turned into this toxic thing that had nothing to do with the case.
They were both toxic, but people were quick to believe her.
Yeah,
initially.
I am willing to concede that Amber Heard probably shared more of the blame there for any of the violence or, you know, toxicity in their relationship. But let's not fool ourselves and think that Johnny Depp was like this angelic, perfect boyfriend. I mean, they're both narcissistic celebrities who probably both did toxic things and, you know, contributed to their problems together.
Yeah.
But it's just such a joke to still, like, in May 2023 when this was written, to still find her to be like this hero for women and a feminist icon. Another one said, Amber Heard and her story gave me the courage to take my kids and finally leave my 13-year-long abusive relationship. If it wasn't for Amber and the courage and strength she's shown, I never would have found that courage within myself. Amber empowered me, and she will continue to empower other survivors around the world.
Actually, if you just didn't look into what she did and you just took the one-sided media narrative, that's actually completely plausible. It's just she's believing a lie.
Right.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Well, women are definitely more vulnerable to getting propagandized by the media. I fully believe that. Because, like, fear works better on women as like a tool of propaganda. I think they're more emotionally driven. They have more of like a collective mindset rather than individual. And I'm not saying that to disparage women.
No, it's like our survival tact.
But yeah, it's like it's part of our psychology. You know,
we have to know what's going on in order to make sure that we're accepted by the tribe.
And
like
where to keep our distance too.
Yeah, survival.
Gotta keep our distance because Brett will kick our ass, you know, like he'll kill us. So better do our little psych review. Just kidding.
I think it really is people looking at it from one side and not actually seeing any of the media coverage that that contradicted what they'd been told by Amber or the Amber Stan accounts. That's a scary thought that your reality comes from Stan accounts from celebrities. So,
Well, we were talking about the fact that the Barbie movie is ending people's real life relationships because,
and at the end of the day,
my boyfriend didn't validate my feelings about how hard it is to be a woman in this day and age after watching the Barbie movie.
And there was no evidence that he was physically violent with her. At the end of the day, she was the physically violent one, and that's the one that as a society
and that was
we
proven
can't forgive.
in a court of law. So I don't see how people are still trying to defend her.
Yeah. Well, those people don't believe it or didn't pay attention or only listened to news that reinforced what they believe to be true, which is, not a good thing if you're so narcissistic and devoid of role models that you're looking for a woman who craps in a guy's bed as a role model.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
You've got bigger problems in the world, and I feel bad for that.
Which one is a worse PR blunder? Crapping in your boyfriend's bed husband's bed, or forcing your employees to eat bananas out of strippers' vaginas?
Ooh.
Because Amber is never going to beat the poop allegations. I don't think Lizzo is ever going to beat the banana allegations.
I think she'll lean into it.
She'll
just start bringing bananas to her shows.
It's going to become part of her branding.
Yeah, how do you lean into the fecal incident?
She gets a sponsorship from a diaper company. Like, depends.
Yeah.
Or some type of like blanket company or bedding company.
I hate it.
That's funny.
But I do feel bad if like some of these women genuinely did experience abuse and then they see this story in the media painted a certain way and they, dogmatically support this woman from the story that was given to them at first. And once it all comes crashing down, you can't really admit defeat.
I was reading an article earlier that said the Kevin Spacey getting basically let off on all his charges recently in the UK signals the death of the Me Too movement, and I would say Amber played a big part in that because she produced the most verifiably blatant lies that push back against the narrative. And so Harvey Weinstein may be in jail, but there's still plenty of people in Hollywood that are making you take your backup dancers to strip clubs to eat bananas out of the vaginas of strippers. So I don't think these industries have changed that much, and
because they're degenerates, and they have selective enforcement for like who they condemn for being degenerate. And we kind of forget how big this trial was, because now in 2023 it's like a distant memory, like it was all a fever dream or something. But now that I'm looking at the petition that they did to remove Amber Heard as a spokesperson for this brand, it got 147,000 signatures. Like, how did that many people even care about this trial in the first place?
It's like you said, it became a proxy war between men and women, and you're supposed to either identify solely with Amber or solely with Johnny Depp, as if you have anything in common.
When I can't just say, I don't really care what happened.
Yep.
When you think about how big her reach is, though, that's a pretty minuscule number. It is a lot of people, but percentage-wise.
When that Milani makeup brand sent one of their employees to the court
to debunk her makeup.
To debunk her makeup claims. She like had this compact, a color correcting concealer compact, as she claimed. This isn't the exact one that I used to conceal my bruises when Johnny brutally beat me, but this one looks similar. And then Milani like sent some of like one of their employees out to say like, this isn't true. This is not what our compact looked like.
It wasn't even out then when she claimed
it wasn't even released at the point that
you
she
are
said
not
it happened.
dragging us into this.
I thought she used that same makeup to make the bruises on her.
Plus,
too.
like, Johnny Depp looks like he would grunt while opening a jar of pickles now.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. It's party time. Thank you, guys.
Is Edward Scissorhands a Christmas movie or a Halloween movie?
Oh, it's both.
Both.
Yes.
Wow. I haven't seen
I
that
think of
one
it
in a while.
as a Christmas movie more so.
I see it more of a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Sweeney Todd next.
Heck yeah. Love me some Sweeney. That's a
or
good one.
Sleepy Hollow.
Christmas movie or
no? I'm thinking of Johnny Depp movies because they were all kind of in that same vein, right?
Yeah, Tim Burton. He had a close relationship with him.
Tim Burton has also been accused of a lot of things, mostly racism.
He's a weirdo. Yeah.
I mean, he's a weirdo, but I don't think he's a racist. But yeah, I just saw that in a TikTok video. Milani Cosmetics denied that their product could have been used since it wasn't sold until 2017, and Heard and Depp's marriage ended the year before when she filed for divorce.
Her lawyers
Quote, "You asked us
something.
and let the record show that our correcting kit launched in 2017. Heard's lawyer was supposedly using this for an example of the kind of makeup that she used, but they kind of walked that back really quickly.
Kind of speaks to how like labeled you get now. Like that company then would have had to be like, by the way, we don't support the abuse of women or men, and we don't stand with either of these celebrities. We just didn't make this product at this time. So us, unfortunately, being used by the prosecution doesn't mean that we support Johnny Depp. I'm just saying that this product didn't exist at that time.
They did kind of get unfairly dragged into it.
Remember when people like baristas were they had jars out for their tip jars. It says tip in this one if you believe Johnny Depp, tip in this one if you believe
I remember that being a thing.
That probably made a fortune.
A lot of people probably made some good tip money on that, I'm sure. And they were all full for Johnny Depp.
You could have asked someone on the street like, whose side are you on, and you like pretty likely get a response, usually Johnny, from the public. But now if you ask them in 2023, people would be like, wait, who? What trial? I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't think so. I think people would still... I
don't know. I think they got the NPC software update.
I think they'd say, oh, wow, I forgot about that. That was a thing, wasn't it? That was huge, right? Like, there were still people wearing masks to court. It was like the end of summer COVID and stuff like that.
That ended COVID.
It's it's
Amber couldn't wear a mask, though, because that would, mask her beautiful acting performances.
My dog stepped on a bee.
On a bee.
She wore like a Kim Jong-un suit one time.
Yeah.
Didn't she? Something like that.
There was a
It
whole
was like
thing
some
with
mix
her-
between Hillary
dressed her.
Clinton and Kim Jong-un was her wardrobe inspiration.
That is Gwyneth Paltrow trial was way cooler because it's
Yeah.
like, it's way less
The
stakes.
stakes are lower.
Yeah.
It's
More
hilarious.
lighthearted.
Yeah.
It's just like pure elitism and classism.
She just looks like she just like would spit on you without because she doesn't realize you're a human being. like, she looks
on
like
the ski slopes, and then
Yeah.
her spit freezes on your face.
like she looks like she
like,
would
"You're
just
welcome."
hand her jacket to random people and expect it to be.
People
put
would
away.
pay to get spit on by Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh yeah,
For sure.
It's
Let's,
it just speaks to the fact that you shouldn't look to these celebrities of any sort, good or bad, as a guide for your moral compass, because they have no moral compass, and so much of their lives, so much of their personal lives, their work lives, it's manufactured in a way by PR firms, managers, and agents to project a certain image forward, whereas they have to ask the question, what will this decision mean for my public image? So very little in the way of interactions between celebrities are in any way applicable to you or I's actual lives. It doesn't compute, and it's a fool's errand to pretend like it does. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.